Hey everybody, it's Menzi and welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for a really long time, but I'm going to be honest with you. There is a reason. What happened is very big and it's not bad. It's just colossal. It's fine. Um, so this really big story happened at the end of last year, and somewhere between October and November, I feel a shift in me. Now, for those of you who do not know, I am a Christian. Sorry, it's a bit late. But I'm a Christian and I've been a Christian since I was 5 years old. So it's been a very long time. Anyways, I felt a shift in my spirit as if something was coming, but I couldn't identify what it was. Um, at first, I thought it could be maybe, like maybe my husband's coming, or maybe something about my life. Like it's definitely something that has to do with my life. Like something's coming, definitely. Now, I did feel that, but I still could not identify exactly what it was. So, I would think on it and I would try to like find out what it is because God knows I'm very late, not lazy, I'm sorry. God knows that I'm very nosy about myself. So God knows that I'm very nosy when it comes to myself. So a lot of times, I'll be honest, I feel like he hides things from me because if I get a whiff of something like in the spiritual world when it comes to myself, I will dig and dig and dig and dig and dig until I find it. Like I'm that I'm that crazy about it. Anyways, when it comes to the situation, at this time when the shift is happening, I decide to buy myself a computer because all of my computers that I have, they're really old. So one is from 2011, like dang, and the other is from 2016. So it's like, I definitely need a new laptop. Anyways, I got a new one and my friend helped me find it. She told me that God literally told her to say to me, get the pink one. Now, technically, it's a rose gold laptop, you guys. Um, but yeah, I bought it because my friend literally said God told her to tell me to buy it, so I did. And at this time, I was on another side of the internet that really just did not deserve my attention, in all honesty. So I used it for one more event over there before I left that side of YouTube because they are mentally stagnant over there. That's the best way I could put it, just to put it nicely. Um, but I left, and this computer has been just honestly, it's been sitting here for a while. Like I haven't done anything with it, but it's like a rose gold HP laptop, and it's kind of just been sitting there. So as I go through life at this point, because I'm working a job I don't like, and then I'm coming home, and I have been tired and drained and just, you know how you kind of just feel like you're trapped within something that you can't really get out of. That's how this felt for me. Anyways, um, I meet a man who talks to me about my work ethic because he sees me walking to this job, and he's just like, "Wow, so you're like walking to work and all this stuff cuz like I don't have a car right now." And he was just like, "Oh wow, that's amazing cuz kids your age, they don't do stuff like that." And I was like, "Whatever I need to do for money, that's legal." Okay. Whatever I need to do that's legal, that doesn't cost me my dignity, I'll do. But I'm not gonna like it, So he tells me, like, I think it's like a few weeks past. But after he says that encounter, like after we have that encounter, a few weeks pass and he tells me that my school, like my college, has reached out to him and then they want to talk to me. I was like, what? Like, my school doesn't go looking for me. What do you mean? So he told me to go check at the college just to see what they're saying and everything. So I do that. And it turns out that I have a donor who donated a good amount of money to get me out of debt for a semester so then I can attend the next semester because I could not pay it off with the jobs that you get down here, like because I don't have a degree yet. So it's really hard to find a good paying job, in all honesty, especially if you're like in the South. It's just a thing. Anyways, um so this guy pays off my debt to the school and he sends me back to school. Like, that's why I'm attending college now, literally because of him. So here is one of the miracles, one of the many miracles that God has given me, because up to this point, this would be the fifth miracle that God has given me. So I'm at this job that I do not like. It doesn't fit me whatsoever. And there's horrible things happening in the kitchen as well. But I will say that it's like, I'm sorry if I'm speaking low. It's like probably close to 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just trying to get this filmed. But anyways, um, I'm in the kitchen, and I have been asking God because He has also been. I feel like He's been slowly but surely dealing with my heart about leaving this job, and I didn't leave because, of course, like, how am I going to get money? You know, so I just kind of put it off because I'm like, there's nowhere else. Like, where am I supposed to work and where am I supposed to go? So I'm just kind of like stuck here. And I noticed that the environment around me started to shift. I'm sorry, you guys. I have asthma, so I'm wheezing right now. The weather's changing, and that's just normal. But I will list some of the symptoms or what I've noticed when God wants you to leave a job. Your environment can become hostile, as in people will become distant with you. There are people who will just turn on you, people that'll start just slandering you and things of that nature. That can happen. It has happened to me multiple times. Um, Another way is that I remember the last 2 weeks of this job, I used to have painful headaches, and it would be always in the first hour. Like, if I went in at 7, by 7:30 to 7:45, I would have to go to my purse and take some ibuprofen because the headache would literally be that bad. Um, Another way is if you wake up in the morning and you're dreading it. Like, you're dreading it not because it's the morning, you're dreading it because you have to go work with these people or you got to work at this job. And let me tell you another one. If you get off the job and you spend like 5 to 6 hours by yourself and you're having the most amazing time by yourself, and then you're about to go to bed and you don't want to go to bed because you know that when you wake up, you're going to have to go right back to that job. Leave. Look into leaving, okay? I would say also, especially if you're a Christian, look into the spiritual aspects of your environment around you. As in, one, I do believe you need to be spiritually aware. And here's why I'm saying this. For me, um, I have the gift of prophecy. So I am able to have visions and I can hear from God. I can see into the spiritual realm. Things of that nature. That is a normal talent of mine. Every group within Christ, as in for every talent, there is a demon that is out to attack you, basically. So, for those who have the eyes of God, as in you are able to see into the future, you are able to do everything that I just named, I'm going to tell you three big spirits that are usually out for you, specifically you. One is called, of course, the Jezebel spirit. Um, and you can just look these up because I'm just going to name them. I'm not going to go into like really heavy detail because it tells you the traits of these people. Long story short, think narcissists. Narcissists are the Jezebel spirit. It's that simple. So, moving on to the second spirit. Your second spirit that you need to look out for is named Leviathan. Here is a key trait that you are dealing with someone who has the Leviathan spirit, okay? When you speak to them and they either twist your words or they recount whole memories that you have never had with them, this is a trait of the Leviathan spirit, okay? And then we get into Python. Python is the spirit of witchcraft. And with Python, it is a constricting spirit. So if you feel suffocated at work, if you feel like you don't want to pray to God, or you don't want to talk to God, or you don't feel like doing anything that would lead you closer to God, it might be that spirit. And something to notice, because this is something that threw me off, because I didn't know that I was battling these three spirits for basically 12 years of my life. It's crazy. Like, I found this out about like a week ago. I found this out basically like a week ago that I have been encountering these spirits for 12 years straight. Yeah, because for me, humans can be really distracting. So when humans attack me, I don't think it's a spirit. I think it's the human. And that is why I have been in this loop for 12 years at this point. So please listen to me when I say that you need to study the spirits that are commonly after you based on your spiritual gifts as a Christian. I'm serious. So, besides that, I had, I think I'm still in the symptoms of like a bad place. So, for me, when you have a neglect of the environment, you need to leave. And when I say neglect, it's like if things are dirty, if things are unsafe, if things are easily thrown away, as in like, oh, this can really hurt somebody, and you bring it up, and a manager's just like, oh, that doesn't really matter. You might want to leave, you know? That's one. If you get hurt a lot at your job, I think that's also another one. For this job, I have been burned. I have been cut. And look, I'm a clumsy person. I admit, I'm a clumsy person. But I remember there was one particular situation, and it still makes me mad at this part because I remember where I was cooking, and at this job, I had to deal with grease that was about 343 degrees, you know? So a drop of it popped into my eye, like the white of my eye. And of course, my eye was on fire. So I went and I literally started putting chips of ice in my eye. It was that bad. And somebody had the nerve to tell me that this is not a big deal, that I had a boiling drop of grease just hit the inside of my eye. Let me tell you what it did to my eye. And I'm thankful that it healed. But of course, sorry. But of course, if you have something that's that hot hit your eye, there's going to be damage. For the next 2 hours, I had a blind spot in my eye. I literally could not see out of my eye. And yet they're just like, no, you're fine. It's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. If someone does that to you, they do not care. Leave. Please leave. You know? So, just going on with the story, because I feel like I have to tell you guys that full experience later, but tonight is just not that night for it. Because I'm sure it's probably close to like 1 o'clock when I'm doing this. Anyways, there were other things, like as I was working, because I wanted to get down to the bottom of this feeling. Like I still felt like I'm not supposed to be here. Like my time is growing short here. And I feel like I'm wasting my time. And I was just like, okay, what is going on that I keep feeling this way? You know? And I started listening to videos at work because I had to figure it out. It kept bothering me. And also, if you feel like God is leading you to get rid of your job, there are videos online, much like this one, where you can hear experiences, but they give symptoms too, and they have more symptoms than I do. Like they have more traits of God telling you to leave your job. Look those up. Look those up. That's how I got a good chunk of it. Like for me, I had like a lot of spiritual stuff happen where I would be at work trying to listen to a video to get clarity on the situation. And right when it gets to a part where I need to hear this, because it starts talking about like the environment, what's going on and all this stuff. When I tell you that like the last day was crazy for me, you guys. Every time I would get to a part of the video where it says a hostile work environment and it starts breaking down how the environment is hostile, people would start screaming around me because there was a certain situation going on in which, again, I have to explain this later. But when I tell you that like there was a girl who was like going out of her way to like undermine and sabotage me at this job, and I don't even talk to this girl, okay? People, like the other people around me did not know what she was doing, and they would just praise her for like being there. I don't know. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, because the girl was working and she was like doing a regular position just like everybody else. It was nothing special. And then you have people cheering for this girl like, whoa. I'm gonna name her Emma, okay? It's like, whoa, go Emma. And it's like, Emma's not doing anything past what she's supposed to do. You put her on that station, she's gonna do exactly that. I'm confused. This happened 3 times, and if I have to estimate, somewhere between 30 to 45 minutes apart each time. So that's 3 times in the morning shift. So then we go into the next shift, evening shift. And then Emma starts yelling back at the kitchen where she's just like, oh, good job, everybody. Good job. And this, that. And then they yell back and everyone's clapping and everything. And I know to other people, it's just like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being encouraging. No, literally every time they would start doing that yelling thing is when they start talking about a hostile environment in the workplace, which means that you need to leave in my headset. Now they couldn't have known that, but I felt like that was a spiritual thing. Not to mention, here's another spiritual thing. Those shouts happen 3 times on the morning. Okay. Evening shift, it happened 4 times. So 3 plus 4 is 7, right? 7 is the number of completion. And I know some people are just like, I mean, that's just a number. Okay. When I tell you there were multiple things that happened in the shift, this is what I prayed. before that shift, because I was like, God told me he was working his way up to telling me to leave. And I was like, God, if this is you, make it so that I can't miss you. When I tell you, there are like 5 spiritual things that happened on that shift. In that one shift, like one of them was God himself. Because, so I was in the corner by myself doing something. And I laughed to myself because I was just like, I low key feel like this is like a it is finished moment, you know, and I like giggled and kept going. So 2 or 3 minutes passed, and then I hear it is finished, like in that tone, basically. And I'm just like, I stopped, and I was like, because it wasn't me. I know for a fact it wasn't me. So I was just like, wait, and I asked again. I was like, wait, God, is that you? Silence. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. What is with him not repeating himself? Anyways, I think that was him. So on that day, after I worked that shift, I'm out. I have never felt so sure of anything in my life, quite frankly. He dealt with so many things with me on that shift, because, like, interestingly enough, I'll tell you, because I worked that job and I would listen to a bunch of stories because the job is absolutely boring, okay? And listening to people talk about the same subject over and over and tell the same jokes, it's mentally exhausting. It really is, you know? And I know they don't mean to be mentally exhausted, but they were. They are. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say to that. But anyways, when it came to what I was listening to, it was funny because it kind of transitioned. It started off with some AI stories, I admit, okay? Like, I think I used to listen to, in which I still do, but not as much. His name is like Dougie Corrado, I think. And he's really good. He's a really good storyteller. Although his stories do get a little creepy. So beware of which one you pick if you go and listen to him. Then there is the other one where I would listen to him. And then, because I am a sucker for romance stories, I would go listening to AI, AMVW, Lord, AI and AMVW, Korean. Y'all don't judge me too hard, okay? Korean mafia, Korean mafia boss stories, okay? That had me for a while until I realized that a lot of the stories sound the same. So it's like, okay, I'm done, you know? But that had me, I'm not gonna lie. When I found it, it had me in a chokehold, okay? That was my thing. That was my go-to thing for work. Because that was a funny thing. That's how I used to measure work back in the past. If I listened to 4 Korean mafia boss stories, then I'm off the shift. Because each of them would be like maybe like an hour and a half or something like that. So it's like, if I listen to 4 of these, by the 4th story, I'm out of here. Like, that's just the way I would think. I'm sorry. Again, it's late. I'm so sorry if I yawn. But moving on. The other one, it went from those stories to I would hear like random podcasts sometimes, and then those would bore me because, you know, hearing people talk about gender all day is very draining. Very draining. So, moved on from that to listening to people critique modern day churches now. I did not know that was even a thing. Um, like, because you have YouTubers that'll pull up sermons from pastors in modern churches, and then they'll critique them and tell them what they did wrong and all this stuff. I legitimately didn't know that was like a thing like that. But yeah, so I was like, I went from that. I'm still kind of um in that genre for a moment. But then there's the last one, which I think is funny because it's like, I went from that to going straight into the Bible at this point. Like, I was listening to the book of Job or Proverbs for a bit. I would go and listen to stories about like Gideon, and I would be just looking up random stories on like Bible characters and everything. And I will say this, I forgot this part. Also, looking at the stories of biblical characters can help you too if you're trying to decide to leave your job, because a lot of those stories do have some of the traits where when God is trying to get somebody to move, he does specific things to get them to leave, or he'll order them to leave, and you can see how it plays out to see if that fits your scenario as well. I forgot about that one. But because like my friend, she pointed me to Gideon because I was like, I want to leave, but I'm scared. And she's like, basically, it's like, well, do it scared. One, she's just like, do it scared. And the other was just like, look at Gideon's story and look how he operated as he was scared. He still followed God, even though he was terrified. Oh my gosh, please stop yawning. You're gonna go to bed. I'm sorry, my body is being so dramatic right now. I'm so sorry, you guys. Um, but but yeah. So it's like I did that. And when it comes to just this entire thing, I got up the boldness to quit. So this is my first day. I quit today. I technically quit Saturday, but I wanted to check just to be sure because it's not even God that I doubt. If there's anyone to doubt in this situation, it's definitely me, you know? So I was just like, let me see, like, let me make sure this isn't me just wanting to leave because I just don't like this job. And I'm sorry, I do look teary eyed, don't I? I'm just sleepy. I'm just sleepy. This is what it likes to do when I'm sleeping. I'm sorry. But yeah. So it's like, funnily enough, after I quit my job, I have nothing now. As in, what am I doing? I think I have an idea, but right now it's still in the works, so it doesn't even exist yet. 2 years ago, prior to this moment, I was given a story. Now I'm working on it on my page. It's called Fate's Wager, but I have a plethora of stories in my head that I want to release, and I think they would be really good for the public, in all honesty. So I'm working on that, and I feel like God is pushing me with all the things He's done between the laptop, because again, the laptop is actually something funny because I don't know if I said this because I know I told you guys that I bought the laptop and God told my friend to tell me it's the pink one. It came with a little flash drive in it, and it's been sitting on my table. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? I'm taking a class, and it's like, hey, you're gonna need a laptop, and you're gonna need a flash drive. And it was like, it said one more thing. Like, when I tell you all the stuff I got in the past is lining up for right now, it is insane. And I got curious. I wanted to look up what rose gold meant in a biblical way. It popped in my head to look it up. And rose gold is not in the Bible. However, there is a biblical meaning for pink and there is a biblical meaning for gold. So I looked them up because rose gold is a combination. So gold is, of course, the presence of God. It's basically like the Holy One, you know? And it's like this eternal, basically it's like his eternal presence and it's like his unchanging ways is basically what gold is. And I'm just giving the short version because I don't know the colors like that. But see, this is what gets me. Pink. Pink basically represents a renewal of a relationship with God, is what I found. Also, it basically means like commitment. So He told my friend that this rose gold computer is pink. And then I get it. So it's like, okay, it's rose gold. If you put those two together, as in those two colors together, let me tell you what you get. Basically, I have a commitment from God about this whole situation. And the color alone is basically, it's like, long story short, you guys, I think he promised that he would be here for this moment. Like, you have my support. I am absolutely behind you. And I'm giving you this so you can know that I'm right there with you the entire time. And I was like, you guys, so you're telling me God gave me a commitment before I even understood it? That's basically what happened. And the funniest thing about this entire thing, the story's not done yet. This testimony that is being built, it's still in the works. Because I quit my job and I'm blindly following him. I don't know what's about to happen next. But if everything that is lining up, because again, I didn't tell you guys the whole story. I'm just telling you bits and pieces because I'm bad at organizing. I'm sorry, I'm trying. But everything that I am finding out, he's already ordered all of this. Now we know, as Christians, we know he orders your steps. But to give someone a commitment that they legitimately do not understand, and for it to all click within a few months, you guys, I am in awe. I don't know what to do with that. Like, how do you do that? That is wild to me. That he basically, through colors, literally said, I am going to be here right with you. You just have to trust me. And I'm like, through colors? Through colors. That's crazy. Y'all, that's crazy. And see, I'm not even big on studying the colors and everything. Not that it's like not important or anything, but it's just I don't do that. I don't study the numbers of the Bibles, and I don't study the numbers of the Bible and the colors of the Bible. I usually don't touch that kind of stuff. But it's like the more I study the Bible, the deeper this goes. And honestly, because I feel like there are people who are looking at me like I'm crazy, you know? And they're just like, you gave up your job and you have nothing. Yeah. And you're not scared. No. You guys, I haven't felt sure about anything else in my life right now. I have so much peace. I think if I have a little bit of fear, it's because of the peace that I feel right now. And it's not because I gave up this job. That's not what it is. This is a peace that goes beyond understanding. You guys, I legitimately do not understand this peace. And I feel like this peace is only God backing me up, because otherwise I feel like I'd be freaking out. I feel like I'd be freaking out. Like, so I am doing my page because I feel like God is pushing me to do online content and to like focus on school and stuff. So here is what I've done. I don't know why I say I have put, that's weird. I've put a Cash App link in my stuff. And no, before you click away or run away from me, I am not asking for your money. This is what I'm doing because I am building a page that I think God is pushing me to have a business in the future. I am merely setting up stuff for the future. I'm not asking you to actually even donate to me right now. If you don't want to, don't. If God told you to, then there's the link. If not, then it's fine. God's got me however way it's coming, and I know that. Please do not think that I'm trying to use you for money. That is not the case here. But I do want to get this story out here. And it's just like I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he's doing. Um, because for years I have been praying for him to fix my life. As in working these jobs where I have nothing to show for it, in all honesty. Um, I don't have, like, you guys, I'll be honest, I don't even really have a savings because these jobs do not pay well. It's just not substantial. I don't know what they're doing with these modern day jobs, but they're not substantial. And then you ask people for too much for too little. That's the honest truth. Now, again, I have been trying to trust the workforce for 12 years like an idiot. Okay? If you're listening to this story and you are new to the workforce, they do not care about you. I'm being honest. 9 times out of 10, they usually do not care about you. This is not this thing of like, I'm not bitter, but I'm just telling you what I know from 12 years of being in here. They don't care. Not for real. But you know who does? God. God cares. And this is why I'm giving him a chance. Can you imagine pledging yourself to God since you were like 5 years old and then asking God to control all of your life except for the money and the career? Because somehow, some way you feel like you have to be independent there? And I'm saying this because I just did this. So for everyone watching who hasn't done this, don't do it. There's no point. There is no point. Give this all to God, because I think it's absolutely insane that I don't have anything to show for 12 years of working. I have been literally working since I was 19 years old. I am 31 going on 32, and I don't have much of anything to show for it. I have been living, for the most part, within those 12 years, check to check to check to check. And see, I'm one of those people where I value a just system, I value fairness. And God got me with this one because he was like, see, you are willing to trust other things. And I'll clarify this later because I kind of want to use this. Actually, you know what? That's not fair. So this is what I'll do. I'll tell you exactly what he said. Because I suffer from depression and suicide, even though I think he just fixed it for me. This is what he told me within the last week of this job, which I didn't know what to say to this. Because a lot of times in my life, I would run to committing suicide, or, you know, that word. I'm sorry, please don't take my stuff down. But I would think about doing that like practically within a heartbeat. Like, I can think of ways like that, not to mention I'm very creative, so yeah, I could do that very easily. Anyways, he said this to me. I think this was it was either that Friday or that Saturday, but this is what he said to me. He was just like, you are more willing to take your own life than you are to trust me with it. Is that fair? And you know what? It's not. It's not fair. It's not fair that I pledge my life to you, but then I don't give you all of my life. Then I try to take away my own life because I'm not happy with the way I'm running it when it's not even mine to run in the first place, and I agreed to that. It's absolutely not fair. I have been completely unfair to God in that area, and I didn't realize it. Like, I've had people try to tell me that God would send me to hell for taking my own life. And do I believe this? No. Because just because I give up my life early does not mean that I said that God is not my savior either way. I said I can't deal with life. I didn't say that I don't want my soul to belong with you. So I don't believe that. And that's why. But in this situation, because I am a usually fair person, when it comes to this, he's got me beat. I have nothing to say to this. And he knows me. I like to argue, you know? And he's like, you can't even argue with me. And I can't. Because he's right. He's absolutely right. What am I supposed to do with that? So he tells me it is finished. As in, I need to leave this job. With everything that just happened, how can I tell him no? I feel like right now I can't afford to tell him no. And I'm not mad about it. Like, it's sad that this has been the happiest that I have been in a very long time. Because I feel like this is the end of a grand poverty. Oh gosh, it's getting too late. This is the end of a poverty struggle for me. And I have dreams, you guys, of having kids. And I want to be able to provide for my kids and give them the stuff that I never had. And with the way my life is going, I'm never going to get that chance. Like, unless I meet a millionaire or something. And I don't want my life to depend on that. So I'm doing this. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff and everybody's running at me with all these demands that I literally cannot do. And they're looking to like persecute me. And then I look over my shoulder and I see there's God, there's Jesus, and there's the Holy Spirit. And they're just like, if you would just fall back, we'll catch you. And it's like, I've been standing at this cliff or fighting dumbly at this cliff for 12 years. You know, the only way I actually haven't tried though? Falling back. And I know, I sound crazy. I know I sound crazy. To normal humans, I sound absolutely out there, you know? To Christians, you understand. You're like, Christians are crazy. We are. We're supposed to be. That's how you get through this. You need a little bit of crazy out there, okay? And that's why I was just like, I'm going to allow myself to fall off this cliff because I know for a fact God's not going to let me die. Man, I sound crazy. But no, I will go ahead and talk to you guys later. This is episode 1. I'll be uploading new episodes later. So then you guys can see this testimony walk in real time. As crazy as this is, I do have to say, I feel like I'm grateful for being given this opportunity to show you God's glory in real time. So I'm going to go from nothing to something amazing because he did it and you guys get to see it. All right. But I will go ahead and talk to you guys later. I'm clearly tired. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.